Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with another one. Back with another one. It, it's been it's been a minute. Woo! Yeah, we got to see what's going on here. Okay, okay. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. I'm gonna talk about these reaction channels. Okay, so the Knicks come on at 7. Let's see what the game on. The late game is. Okay, I'll have ESPN on. Let's see what's going on up here. Let's see something going on here. Okay, what's that? Okay, okay. I'm back with another idea, another one. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a lot of things. I mean, we say we're gonna talk about certain things online. Um, we talk about semi-political stuff, non-political stuff. I think the whole purpose of what's going on now. People making arguments about the elections and shit like that. We'll talk about that a little later. But the sports side of it, I've really noticed that people are so geared up about the NBA stuff. The NBA stuff is just wild. Like NBA content is kind of up now because people are talking about it. And I gotta say, the opener, Michael Jordan is gonna be very interesting. He threw a shot at the current day's generation, and it looks good. It looks good for NBC. NBC looking like it's back in its rails, and this is gonna be interesting. I get shouts out to Raw and all them other guys, but it goes to show you that mainly we're seeing like an uptick what's going on like with these networks and stuff like that, and then we're going to expound on why people are attacking what's what. But I think this is going to be a good year, a good year for sports. But I think sports is in a good place right now. Football's on fire. You don't know who's dominant, but I got the Eagles winning it all, even though there's other good teams out there. But the Colts, man, they look good. We can say what we say about them, but them Colts look good. I think I missed the Pat McAfee show, and I think that's kind of like um, the uptick. Hold on, I hit the wrong thing. I hit the wrong thing. How to do stuff? Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. That's what we're gonna do. All right. So mainly, you just have these things going on. My stuff is all loose, but you know how that goes. And then you just look at it for what it is and what takes and whatnot. And I look at these things like we're on it, right? So let's look at this for a minute. So the opening night, double overtime, great game. I see a lot of holes in OKC's game, even though it's like from last year. It's the same style. They got the same team, and their ring ceremony was kind of cool though. Them big ass championship rings they got. I think they look fantastic. Me personally, I thought the Pacers was going to win the series because of the experience factor, but SGA brought that style once again. If he plays like that again and show his courageousness in the game, yes, they couldn't guard Durant, and Durant made it interesting. So they barely beat the Rockets. That's their equal. That's the only team that can match them. It's really Houston and Golden State. And Golden State looked good against the Lakers. The Lakers, you know how that goes. But Golden State, with the addition of Al Horford, oh, they have a shot too. It's only three teams that come out the West. I'll say four, really. It's like I said, I got Denver, I got Houston, OKC, and probably Golden State. And the reason I say Golden State, they're the standard. And then you may throw in Minnesota and everybody else. Anybody can win a championship in the West. It's only a handful of teams. A lot of people think, oh, it's dominant. The only reason it's stacked like that, that's not the competition. See, that's that lie they tell and try to say it's the competition. It looks competitive, but it's really not. Because in the West is up and down. The East, you got a lot of people say it's not as competitive. It is competitive. You got Detroit, you got all these teams, Atlanta, they going to compete. Everybody said they ain't competing is crazy. Knicks ain't going to do nothing because Indiana has the blueprint. So I don't trust Milwaukee because Giannis said he about to leave and he said he's going to play Greece till he retire. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to L.A. And the only team he wants to go big market is New York got the market right now. They got it sold up to the point that you have to comply with. So basically what I'm saying is like the NBA is a excellent place, great opening nights. I saw all of them. I saw it up till early in the morning. I stayed up like last night in the early morning. Then the Warriors beat them. That was a epic game they had. But the Houston and OKC, that's a thriller. KD showing me what he was doing. Kevin Durant showed me that Houston's up. This is early in the season. This is early. Hell, we ain't in December and January yet. It's a whole nother beast. But you know, football is what it is. But politics for short, these fucking reaction channels, they are so garbage. A bunch of C words, a bunch of tap dances out there tripping about shit that really doesn't matter at this point. But the only thing I hate about them is they take history and historical stuff out of context. I've been talking about history for like decades. But when you have these type of channels that take other people's sources and stuff like that, and then they try to use the word so-called white supremacy, like those people are fake pro-blacks to me. And it just goes to show you that why in the hell will y'all still use that term and act like they're supreme, which they're not, by the way, historical standards and research. And these dudes don't do research. These young niggas that be online and try to do reaction channels like Soul Illuminati and all them, they're frauds, bro. Like I laugh at them for entertainment, but they'll never do what he did back in the eras of 2015, 10 years ago, or should I say 8 years ago. That's the standard that I see from him. When he was talking about 2K references, there it is. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand why people are in this year, like 10 years later, and we still talking about the same old shit, even though it's the Trump era we seen, even though his first term was around that era, and the Biden era was short lived during the Trump era, and then Trump is doing damage for the country. So they against him in protests and everything. But we over here sitting around talking about some other shit. The shit that don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? And then when people talk about racial issues, that's the divide and conquer aspect. But it just goes to show you that people just doing the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean? They have no new content outside of that, their talking points and things like that. So I'm not blaming left versus right and all this stuff. I'm just saying that I'm so tired of hearing the BS. It's like the so-called conscious community. And they're not even conscious at all. That's what they try to be. Their community, see, when they use the word white community, black community, those are concepts. Those are not real communities. That's just a community of people that agree on skin color. I'm not saying skin color is an issue. I'm just saying it's just more um what's so wrong with it. It's the concepts they put online. And we know out offline, those people ain't living like that pro-black and pro-white lifestyle. I just don't see it. That's 20th century thinking and early 21st century. Now, early 21st century, yes, you had racism. Lots of racism alive well, and a lot of people don't believe in it no more. It's not what it used to be. It used to be like that, but you got a bunch of sellout and double agents controlling two groups. I've been saying this for decades. Like it's been hijacked. Anybody that talks this pro black stuff, they're double agents, and they use the word CT, what they will say the oxymoron term, like conspiracy is a conspiracy, and then they use the word theory, right? That's a CIA term that they're coining, and don't realize that's a CIA term. You're using their terms, so be careful what you do in media or podcasts. Or and the key word I hate, the SM word, social media. I remember before the gentrification of 2012, it was called social networking when I was coming up, when I was a teenager, when I started YouTube years ago. It's just so how pathetic the boomers done ruined every generation. And that's what, and I just saw a video about the guy talking about the boomers, this white kid on YouTube, so-called white boy on YouTube. And he's right, man. Like they fucked up everything. This is a divide. This is about young and old at this point. I'm speaking on the young and old issues, what you see in the golden ticket being executed, and this goes to show you how pathetic what YouTube has become. I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything different. I'm not saying anything vibrant, but I'm saying that it's so annoying that people still talk like this in um in 2025. You know, a lot of people haven't lived at the time that we fought against the system and all that stuff. How the hell would anybody just say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to be," and everybody will hear like, "This is what we can expect." You get what I'm saying? Like, what do we expect? We expect the same bullshit that people come through over and over again. Everybody's talking about the same nonsense over and over again, and then they talk about, let's just say, they talk about any issue, right? Talking about people controlling the economy and stuff like that, but don't want to point out the ones that really control every single thing you do. And this is why I always bring up the U word as always, all the time on my channel, utilitarianism that affects everybody, that philosophy. Yes, they create the terms, what people call white supremacy and all that stuff. That was used in Malcolm's time. In our time, we should not be using those old terms, outdated 20th century terms, early 21st century terms. And niggas are so fucking sometimey. You know what I'm saying? They so fucking sometimey. They don't even know that you're using the same shit people that run power on to dictate, you know, what societies were. And much as how old I have gotten, I ain't like as I used to be. It's just it goes to show you this is wave and lost its patterns. But when you got guys that constantly spewing bullshit on their societies, like especially the reaction community channels and shit like that, I just laugh at them, bro. They don't know shit about nothing. They just using basic history that ain't real history, that's been manufactured, and that's not what we call it. Especially niggas. These all study. No, you didn't. You ain't study shit. You study the same bullshit I've heard years ago in the school system. The other people telling about our history, and that ain't real history, by the way. You so-called black people, you so-called, I call y'all niggas, by the way, because y'all zombies, or I call y'all zombie niggas. I call y'all zombies. Y'all so dumb. Y'all don't do research. Y'all don't even read. First of all, history is fragmented. Second of all, you can't take nothing literal. If you take something literal, that says a lot about you. I just don't take this stuff serious, like with these reaction channels, and they trying to spew pro black stuff. And it just bothers me, like, dude, y'all talking about the same shit. And then one was talking about the sexy red shit. I just watched this joint recent. And it says Anton speaks as he tries to say he's wrong about sex red. Well, and stuff he wasn't saying wasn't wrong. He just disagreed with him, but I disagree with his take. So how the hell you gonna say sex red ain't bad for the so-called uh black female community, or should I say black woman and all that stuff, the image? Well, and I'll tell you why. He's the type of guy what's wrong with society and preaching that Machiavellian ism bullshit. It just goes to show you, man, people are tired of the same shit. And I think YouTube is one of those places that you gotta call criticism on. Yeah, this is the Daily Hump Dump, the 40th edition. As always, we talk about real stuff over here, current events, modern events on the internet, offline stuff that's really going on affecting people. It's a handful of people suffering the same thing as they always have. But now you got these fools online getting a buck off of it. So you know what I'm saying? Like, how the hell you gonna speak anybody any clearer than you got people over here just saying a bunch of nothing, right? But one thing I could say about being on YouTube for this long and understanding that I've been on here for like decades and I see alliteration of words. I just had to get this off my chest. I say, why in the hell are they so focused on not just politics? I mean, they politics is up and down, but why they so focused on racial issues? I'll tell you why. That's that utilitarianism shit that I'm talking about. They got you stuck in constructing that's a reality, but reality is it's not true. It's a class construct, and I think what I'm saying is right. And utilitarianism equals constructive stuff, but it has the wrong messaging hurting our people. But don't realize that they perpetuate you to talk like this online. Yeah, you may have a lot of subscribers and bots on there, but don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. That stuff don't mean nothing if your shit starts losing. They not authentic what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they get these reaction channels. They think they superstars, and they really not. They're just spewing the same shit that I've heard from other regular medias and stuff like that. I mean, I let them have their stuff. I let them have their stuff. But you just know that people are watching your shit and then look back to what your stuff was said was wrong. And these niggas that are anti-red pill community, I understand. And then, but you niggas listen to O'Shea, and he was a part of that community. It shows how stupid these dumb motherfuckers are. The ones that are anti-red pill, fuck them niggas, by the way, because them niggas is what's wrong with uh that side of YouTube. You got a lot of c words. Um, I call them coons, by the way. That's what I mean by that. And fuck them. That's on the internet that used to be on the conservative side and try to say Republicans always been conservative. No, they ain't. They've been racist liberals for years. It's just they use a conservative thing. They're like the minority of the party historically, and majority is ran by moderates and liberals. They're not real conservatives. That's like I said, Republicans have never been the C's. That's just for theater, and that's for news alignment and issues. But y'all see what I'm talking about. But you know, I'm just looking at the stuff that's going on, and like, why would anybody be on the downturn of what's going on? Like they use statistics like white folks. It's like who cares about the murder per capita? I like so-called white people debate about statistics all day, every day. I just don't debate idiots that use false statistics. Don't give them a time of day. It doesn't make you intelligent. They don't want to hear your reasoning. That's like I said, you gotta get physical with these people, bro. You can't talk to them about logics and facts. You just walk away and kill the argument. And yes, they debate children, which is stupid. And that means they have a mind of a child, like with the golden ticket got his head knocked off because he was debating children. True. But what do y'all do? Y'all debate who? Children online. Y'all niggas disgust me, bro. And then try to say, oh, and I said, I thought black people was not a monolith. Apparently we are. Technically, we're not. Okay, then we get talked bad. He said, all black people come unified. No, they're not. Those are cones. Black folks don't act like this online. We talking about the real ones that actually fighting out here. The ones online are fake. And the ones that follow you are C words anyway. But the real black people that listen to my shit and listen to my historical research that I can back up through a website and dissect what it means, what this stuff means, they can put their information out. See, guys like that on these reaction channels, and when they talk about history and politics, they don't know what the fuck they talking about half the time. I don't agree with them on everything, especially on certain issues. But I look at this stuff like this every day. So and I look at the guys that be spewing that stuff. Like they try to talk about anti-intellectualism, and I was looking at that. I said, dude, this is not about anti-intellectualism. Y'all sound like white people with podcasts. And that's why I have a problem with old boy, his bitch ass. And like his whole premise is that right wing liberal shit. I call it right wing liberalism. I don't even call it conservatism because it's liberalism. Because conservatives, to me, historically, are neutralities. They pussy. They the ones that believe in direct democracy and all this other stuff. They said, "What's democracy?" I thought that's liberal. No, democracy is conservative. Think about it. Anytime when people talk about democracy, they want more policing, more arrests, more everything. You can go to neutral countries like Switzerland and Scandinavian countries. I try to explain my family member about that. That conservatism don't equals left and right. It just means you're in the middle. And I don't believe no centrist vote. That's just propaganda to divide people. But if you really study conservatism, you already know left and right to them don't exist. They think about themselves. That's that individualistic shit that don't work. It doesn't work in society. Remember, America's not individualistic. Anybody say that we are, you stupid. Now we are individualistic to each other in social circles, yes. But as a society, it will never work. Like I try to tell you, America is utilitarian to the bone because they care about one emotion, and they lie about a lot of shit. And this is why this country is the way it's gonna go. It's gonna go out the same way like the Roman Empire because you got too many instances and stuff is stretched in. I've been saying this for years and years, and I won't be consistent on it. It has the tenets of the problems that we see today. You see it in the government, you see it in the world, but now you're looking at the things that these guys are not talking about like I am. I've been saying this for the last decades, saying it when I was in the workplace. Like I said, these niggas they ain't rooted with fact. That's what hurts them. That's why I'm on their heads forever. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, you have to look at these things and be proud of. So I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, where we go from here? It's a big day to understand what's going on in the world. Like you got guys talking about race this, race that, and I'm so sick of it. Now I'm not saying it don't exist. There's a group of people that never liked us historically, always hate us, and even these other groups. But we can't be distracted from their bullshit and just ignore them because they're losers anyway. Especially they're online with it. They wouldn't have this much to say in our faces. Like I said, these people are cowards. Even the ones that defended these females. That's our women now. These females will turn the knives on you, and then you want to come up with these so-called red pill spaces. We actually the real red pill space over here, but the fake ones, like them niggas over there in 2.0, the ones y'all worship, y'all the ones gonna be at fault. So I'm looking this stuff. I'm just like, man, y'all crazy. All right, I'm gonna go on mute. I'm gonna step away real quick. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go on mute. Yeah, I'm back. So lately, I've been seeing a lot of content creators talk about the same old dumb stuff about race and all this stuff. I don't think that should be the conversation when we talk about politics. We got to take race out of it because that's a constructive culture to divide people. Even though I'm not saying race don't exist, I'm just saying it's a man-made concept by the same people that don't like us historically. And I've been preaching this, teaching this stuff for years and years. And I said this when I was in the workplace. That's a distraction. It's not rooted in reality. People pick and choose. See, when people talk about race, they the dumbasses don't understand who created it. You ask them a real question, these motherfuckers can't explain nothing. That's why I don't like these channels that be reaction. They try to use the pro. A lot of these niggas are not pro black, bro. They're c words, and if they have no black woman as they and when they talk about relations and they don't have no black woman as they thing, they're the c words, and they don't realize you're the c words. You're the double agent that we speak of. I'm calling them out. The ones that say they married to something, but you're really not married to that person, you'll hear capping to the world, bro. Like, I can't stand people that claim they pro black, but reality you're not married to one. That's the problem that I have with these damn podcasters and shit like that. You dudes are C words. Nobody's not gonna take you niggas serious. Y'all fucking clowns. Anybody that follows this shit is retarded to me. I don't respect dudes like that. I really don't, because they get on here and they talk this hellacious shit and expect people to see what's going on. I don't get it, bro. I don't get these niggas, man. They just need to just pipe down and move the fuck on, bro. Niggas don't deal with you like that. They don't deal with you like that entirely. And what bothers me is just like you got these content creators, what they call themselves, right? Spewing bullshit. They spew bullshit every day online and expect people to listen to that shit. That's what I'm sick of. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm sick of. So again, I just can't take niggas seriously. I can't take them seriously. Get what I'm saying? But I just don't. I don't really take them seriously to the point. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take it nobody serious really. But again, what's the purpose of y'all talking shit about the same shit that we've been saying for years? It was systematic to control, and then they want to extend it, act like they got the history on the subject, and they really don't. I don't understand people like that. I don't really understand people expecting the people to just listen to. I get what they're saying about guys that defended the or boys police, the one that got destroyed. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That got destroyed in September before 9/11. But I ain't gonna mention his name. He ain't getting no praise over here. But y'all should know that by now. Y'all should know that by now, that this stuff was gonna happen. Y'all should know that. But y'all take the stuff to a whole new level. I'm like, it's crazy. Not saying stuff that you shouldn't say is valid, but I'm just saying it's not no opinion. No, it's facts. We debating facts over here, not opinions. Yeah, we may have opinion on certain issues, but dude, I'm just looking at it for what it is. Like, I'm just like, don't mind me. I'm just browsing and just think of something. But it goes to show you, like, I look at this stuff. I said, man, why are people still talking about this shit in 2025? And I get it. I get the gist of everything. And it's just like it goes crazy. You know, and that's just how it is. Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, I had to mute that in the background, but like I said, some people they just go crazy with it. They just expect people to just talk about it all day religiously. But man, oh man, it's just like the content is just gotten trashier and trashier. But one thing I can say about me, I analyze these people. Are they genuine? Which they're not. And then it's just like, I'm in these schools. We don't walk by these schools. No, nigga, you just lying online. That happens in their communities. People and then accusing. Now the Anton Daniels, I do agree on. Yeah, we already know he's a that too, but you are too. You don't have a black wife. You don't need to speak on it. It's not an opinion. No, we saying fuck you too, nigga. You can't claim you're pro black and then you from another country. It's just supposed to show you that I can't stand niggas like that. I can't take serious, especially if they have another ethnicity as their wife. You know what I'm saying? And people say you can't be disrespectful. White. It don't matter. You're a fuck nigga. We're gonna talk about your wife. She another race. Hell, fuck you and fuck anybody else. You didn't marry a black woman. That black folks defend black people, right? If y'all claim don't talk about them, no, we have a right to talk about them. Don't put them online. It's that simple. Like I said, take your spouse, your significant other off the internet. That's my advice for married folk. If you're gonna do content creation like this or live stream, shut the fuck up about your spouse or husband. Y'all fucking losers. You know what I'm saying? I hate fucking losers on the internet, especially niggas. And they do this shit, and this is why the relationship thing is a hustle. I've always said the so-called white supremacists backs this shit. Yes, they don't want black families, but you niggas perpetuate the so-called black families that don't exist. That's why it's fucked up. That's why the gender warring exists. Come on now. Come on. But I'm just saying, like, come on. But it's just the same old shit. Like I'm sick of married folk in general, like especially on the internet. They just get on my damn nerves complaining about the same old shit, and it's just the same old, like the stuff that we hear. It's just like, come on, bro, come on, bro. And that's just what it is. Sometimes you get tired of that shit all the time. But when I talk about these married folks online, they just like lame as hell. Like if you have a problem being on the internet, get off the internet. Like, is that what these motherfuckers say? Well, they need to get off the internet too. Anybody use the term social media? Get off the internet, please. If you don't like the internet, get the fuck off the internet. That's all I'm saying. Like, I hate motherfuckers like that. That's one of my biggest pet peeves online, and especially the internet in general, is bitch ass people like that. That's in general, bro. And that's the only thing I hate about it. You know, like the internet used to be, you had your single people, yeah, using a relationship, that's cool. But if you talk about marriage, you take that shit offline. And the thing about it is, it's like, it's so annoying that people get in this motion and that's just it. So, and that's just we have to deal with it all the time. So, but but it's just like, man, come on, man. Like, I'm just looking at this stuff already. And the one thing I look at it like, it's changed since that I've been on here for years and years, and it's never was like this. What when is relationship content going in, bro? Like, that's going on. Like, I can't stand people like that. I'm not saying that to offend nobody, if you're married or not. I'm talking about the ones that do reaction channels and they say I'm doing this for money. You ain't talking about nothing but a bunch of bullshit entertainment. That's what I don't understand. Like, niggas that complain so much. Me, I ain't complaining. I'm laughing at these niggas because they clowns, but complain about other people's shit, but y'all lame as hell. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But that's the one thing I can tell, that when people get in these relationships and they put it online and expose them, well, y'all participating in the fuckery. You know what I'm saying? When they talk about celebrity relationships, we don't give a fuck. But I don't watch that trash no way. And that's not real content. They wonder why people don't fuck with each other. And that's the problem I have with people in general. Like, they promote this shit like it's cool, but in reality, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. But I'm just saying, can we get something real, please? I'm not saying that to be mean or anything. I'm just like saying, come on, bro. Like, we got to be real here. I'm just saying, like, that's the stuff that I don't like. And then when I look at YouTube and all the years, it was never like that. People was finding their way, living their lives, living it up for free or whatever. And these dudes ain't got nothing substance to talk about. So yeah, relationship content is whack, bro. It's been whack for years and years. And I've been telling people, stop wasting your time listening to dudes that don't know what the hell they talking about. Everybody's relationships ain't the same, bro. See, that's that utilitarian bullshit that I hear all day, every day, and wonder why people just don't like each other. We got to understand, people don't like each other over some dumb shit. Let's just keep it 1,000. Let's keep it funky. Dumb shit rules the land. Let's keep it 1,000. It rules the land. Y'all got to look at it like from an angle that what I'm saying is, if you have an issue with your significant other, it can be male or female, like a husband or a wife, whatever. If you say you're married, don't talk about it, bro. Like, now, if you want to talk about marriage and all that content, that's cool content, but it doesn't get no views. People don't want to hear that. So it's very risky. Back then in 2017, you got away with that shit, but that shit's played out. Back then, when this channel started, no one talked about their significant other like that. Positive, negative, no one cares. Some people just sing out here living their life and don't want to be bothered with it. I'm just attacking them in general. The people I'm attacking, not just the argument. I'm attacking people that promote that, and they know who the fuck I'm talking to. If they listen, if that not, and it's gonna be here recorded. I'm saying, I don't give a fuck about y'all's content. Y'all ain't saying nothing to help people, but y'all like fuckery, right? But that's what y'all promote. So the country's divided, the world's divided over some bullshit. But y'all talking about, the relationship culture is dead, bro. Life said, "Oh, you got to try again." I don't believe in that shit. No, it ain't no try again. It's only you live once, right? Nobody believes in that true love bullshit. People being stupid nowadays. You have to look at things for what it is. Some people are just stupid. They just want to expect relationships gonna come naturally. It takes work. Last time I was in one, shit, it was decades ago. But niggas talking about relationship problems and hangups. Well, that's a you problem. That's not a group problem. That's a you problem. And I'm not saying that to be sound better. I just don't agree with people acting like this is a thing. And you know, I'm looking at it for what it is. Like some people, they get on these platforms and they act like they're the better than everybody else, which they're not. They're fucking losers anyway, and they talk about their relationships. That's what makes you a loser, man. Like if you're a married person and you talking about entertainment stuff, and then you're like you ain't got nothing going on, if you like, you're a loser to me. Married folks should not be on the internet. I'm just keeping it real. If you have an issue with people saying vulgar shit or whatever, say if you have children, get the fuck off the internet. That goes for anybody. If you got kids and you doing this on it, that it's about time to get off the internet. Like I'm talking about the ones that are really mature, and if you're in marriages and shit, it's not for married folk. I've always said that, and this is why I can't stand technology. People don't know how to use it correctly. They say the dumbest shit, and it's not real. Like if we can't say nothing, get the fuck off the internet. That's all I'm saying. You don't have an opinion. No, get the hell off the internet. You are what's wrong with 95% of everybody's content. You're going to get cooked. Just get off the internet. It's that simple. You're not going to win. The internet's undefeated. Your dumbass want to be a participant, you're going to get smoked. They're going to have a read talk about your trash ass people around you. I'm so sick of that. You know what I'm saying? They say, "Oh, they can't talk about my wife." Blah, blah, blah." Well, get off the internet. Stop being a lame. Stop being a bum. Bums cry too much. They always talk about my wife's meat and everything. Ain't nobody caring about you, nigga. That goes for any of them. And then X is worse. Elon made that site worse as hell, and X done fell apart. I don't give a fuck about X no more. I don't either. Everybody done quit. I remember last year it was the shit. Now everybody quit on it this year. I wonder why. It's over, bro. Been on this shit for too many times to understand that X has been finished. That site is ruined as hell. Fuck off. Okay. Out of here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm playing something in the background, but I have it on mute. So it's like, you know, it's just like it goes to show you how crazy certain people are. And no. Let's see something real quick. But I'm just looking at it like, man, these people are just crazy. And I was telling somebody to fuck off trying to join my little little game that I have in the background, but it's crazy, man. Tell me I discovered a town like got time for that goofy shit, bruh. Oh, what that is. I'm just saying, like, what you discovered. Okay. It's a lot to me to do here. Hell, I've been entertaining myself the stuff I be playing. But I want to ask y'all a question. Have y'all played this new game, The Dying Light the Beast? Man, that game is whoo, it's gritty. I've been playing post-apocalyptic games to maintain my mindset. You know what I mean? But you got niggas complaining about the same shit I've heard 4 years ago and prior. Niggas haven't evolved since 2015. 10 years later, y'all talking about the same old shit. That's just like I said, the internet died in 2012. Like that part of YouTube, I miss them days of YouTube, pre-YouTube, pre 2012, and all that. 2007, great year. I love them times. But back then, it was fun back then. But now it's just garbage. Niggas ain't saying nothing. Just crying about shit that don't really matter. It matters to me because I need attention. Because my wife needs it, her boss needs it. And niggas think they think they doing something, man. Get the fuck out of here, please. Like it's just some sucker ass shit. Why do we need to talk about bullshit online? I just laugh at people that's in relationships. I mean, I no shots to the ones that try to make it strong. If you have a family, that's cool, but don't put your business on the internet, bro. Like a lot of people that when they get online, when they do these podcasts and they talk about their past discretions, and you got these loser ass dudes. And this is why you got male loneliness because of that, not because of relationships. Is they lame too? If I was a married person, I wouldn't be online like this, especially on YouTube. I would end this immediately. I post and not talk about it and won't post at all. Hell, I'll stop posting, period. But when people use the term social media, they sound just like these boomers. They use the term social media. And so everybody use that term. No, that's a boomer logic mindset. They control that narrative. This is about young and old. I'm always gonna say it because that nobody wants to talk about that generational bullshits. And I talk about generational supremacy is trash. Who the fuck has time to say their generation better than they and they lame as hell and it wasn't. Everybody don't like your generation. You the responsible for all the simp shit, and there you are. I don't get these people, bro. I don't get these people. The simp shit needs to stop, bro. And I heard dude's video. This so-called white boy. He was saying something about the boomers and stuff. Yeah, the boomers that are older, the Mitch McConnells and all those guys, They're the problem. That's why we're fucked up in society, not knowing where we are. Yeah, our generation, Generation Y, which y'all ignorantly called us millennials. I hate that term. That applies to the babies. They're the millennial generation of the 21st century. They're the millennials, and we're not. And when they use the word millennial, they forgot to use Generation Y. And reason being, these people are stupid. That quote us that we're the generation of this and that. And that's not true. And they always want to blame the Gen Xers. That they still blame it. That's why everybody said fuck the boomers to this day. Boomers are the biggest idiots in the world. Nobody likes the boomers. Nobody. And I don't. I say fuck the majority of them damn near. Some are okay, but the majority, I just can't fuck with them. The ones I used to work with and the ones I've seen around me, you know what I'm saying? It's just they're pathetic, bro. Nobody wants to hear they bullshit. Then you got a boomer president that's backwards and don't know what the hell he's doing. They're mentally drained. I can't take these people serious, especially on the internet. But when you look at these things, people act like they ignore the blind eye, but it's the truth. Like a lot of people just don't like them, bro. They want them to disappear, and they said they don't just die. Nah, just people just hate them. They're the most sorriest generation in the world. They gonna get the most shit talking all the time. Always want to hate on somebody. And that's why you got the generational divide. To me, I say what's wrong with America, the generational divide exists. You saw it in the last election. You saw the recent mass shootings. This is a problem with the world today. Not saying that be saying it, but I'm just looking at all the situations going on in the world. It is what it is. But I'm so sick and tired of people saying it's the other shit, this and young like get the fuck out of here. And that boy is right. Stop blaming the younger generation. Yeah, we know Gen Z is fucked up because the pandemic ruined them and stuff. It didn't ruin me because I've had a social life before this internet shit. I didn't get into it until probably I'll say 2007. But I did. I turned this shit off. It didn't have no live streams. Now I remember when the internet was the internet, and I was on it years ago. And yes, I was outside a lot. Yes, it was standard. Everybody had MySpace. People forget about MySpace. I didn't have MySpace all them years. I've had YouTube, video sharing sites, posted content, content creation. I was young back then, dropping science, dropping jewels as you know it. Even then, I had the entertainment stuff. I was on YouTube a lot longer than that. I didn't get in this type of content until probably years ago. But as a 19-year-old in my early 20s, yeah, I was outside a lot. Yes, I had the internet too as an option. It was like my fourth or fifth option. Actually, my fourth or fifth option of all time. Even when I was in the city. When I was not in the city, I barely used it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I've used YouTube a lot of times in my early years when I've been on here. And then when I got older, I've always had social life outside. I had family, had people that I knew, and the people I knew in the neighborhood. But when I moved down to the cities, it's a whole nother story. So that's the whole purpose of me being on there, and that's just what it is. But I'm just looking at it for what it is. But anyways, but I'm just saying, like most people, when they think about the internet, and these people always use this reference, like say, well, and they sound like, and that's why I hate the term SM so much because they so brainwashed by corporate media and corporate bullshit in the government. They say, well, we call it social media. When did we start calling it that? It used to be called social network way back in the day when I started this platform years ago. Started my own platform years ago, my old channel. It's gone now since I made this channel. My second channel is my staple. It's just like, where the hell did we came up with that term? I know the boomers create that term. The ones that don't know shit about technology is those type of boomers, and the ones that do want to manipulate technology and hurt others, like some people I know. But that's a whole nother story, But it goes to show you, man. It goes to show you, man, like why do we use that term? Because that's colloquialism terms. Like I said, this is utilitarian system, and they got to use those terms to reel you in. That's a scheme. And it's a business that they want to use. And motherfuckers don't want to hear the truth. That's why they be on these platforms and reacting to bitch ass niggas that no one cares nothing about. Okay. And that's their shitty content. Somebody's got to say it. Like somebody's got to say these niggas is whack anyway. And then you got niggas said, we're not a monolith. Niggas, yes, we are to these so-called white people, we're a monolith to them. But here's the thing, we're divided as a people because we're not unified. It's been like that since the inception of YouTube. I don't care what nobody say. People gonna talk about each other all the time. It's crazy, man, how people look at us in the world. But you got morons saying, well, so-called white people looking at, and you using a colloquialism and talking points. Like the word CT, what and they said, sir, what do you mean by CT? Conspiracy theorists. I hate that term. That is a CIA term. They coined that phrase. I learned that shit years ago by some of the guy that had a lecture on his videos. Shouts out to him. And they use that term delusively to shut you up. You know what I'm saying? Why is everybody using these colloquialism terms? That's the fucking problem I have. If you want to talk about the E files, the P files, the CIA controls all that. Okay? The government officials control that. They're puppets to somebody else, but I ain't gonna get into it. But you motherfuckers act like that doesn't happen. They do it all the time. Nobody respects the government, bro. They the number one problem in this country is our particular government, and it's over. Only motherfuckers use colloquialism terms. You're playing their game. That makes you a C word to me. If you're pro black using the term CT and all this, stop using it. You sound just like them. Claim yes, that shit. Like get the fuck out of here. That like who cares? That's why I say fuck them niggas and half of that generation and the ones that use that in the minds and above. Fuck all you niggas that use that. Y'all C words to me. Because it gets on my fucking nerves. Like they preach pro black, right? But they're not pro black. They're C words, and they got different race of females. And yes, hours. Yeah, I'm gonna talk y'all a couple more minutes. But it goes to show you how pathetic these dudes are. And I be watching their platforms all the time. I watched a little bit of iHip News. They go in on hard on the right a lot. And I dissect what they're saying, but they're trying to push this same sexual agenda. And they trying to be on TV so bad. I think they made for TV. That's who, and I'll tell you who's gonna replace the Young Turks. It's gonna be I Have It. I have had it. I Hip News. They're gonna replace the Young Turks in the future. Now I'll tell you why. These are old. They said they old ladies. Well, senior citizens. Well, they got young people in the background editing their stuff. Can you imagine they replaced them? You have more females running for president, and then it'll be a blue wave. Like I said, Trump saying gonna be no blue wave. Yes, it's gonna be a blue wave. He can't escape it. It's over. His own people turning on him. So that's what they're saying. I say then it's not looking too good. And you see word niggas out there, you out of there. But it goes to show you how pathetic people are. I tell you, the internet's been lost for years and years. And you know how many times that people gave up on talking about certain issues and certain things. Now I understand people like they have their talks, but these people love to use so-called white people's colloquialisms. That makes you a sellout to me. Black folks need to study themselves, man. Stop thinking from an individualistic point of view. That's that C word mindset. That's why Anton Daniels is thriving on the internet like that. The reason why he's thriving, you niggas co-sign him. Yeah, like I said, I don't co-sign. I don't fuck with his shit. I don't react to shit. Fuck him and his audience. But you niggas care. I don't care about his content. I'm cooking you niggas because I don't like niggas like y'all for saying it. Y'all for entertainment, but y'all niggas is clowns anyway. Y'all ain't gonna do shit. Y'all just handkerchief heads from the media. See, I'm talking shit to y'all, not at y'all, to y'all. I don't care who don't like it. Fuck y'all and fuck your viewpoints. I'm not gonna debate y'all weak asses because y'all ain't worthy. Y'all not intelligent enough to understand. Stop using their colloquialisms. Stop using Chat GBT. Lazy fucks. Do real research and get sources. I'll debunk what you're saying. And I'm not playing semantics. Y'all niggas play semantics worse than they do. Yes, they play semantics, but y'all ain't saying shit. So what the fuck are you saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I always say to these niggas. And they do this shit to piss me off. Like, you know how it is. And yeah, we know fascism has a nationalistic political view, but niggas want to use other words and don't even study. Philosophy basics show me a lot. Communitarianism, anarchism, that's what they try to say liberal is. It's more of a radical form of liberalism. That's what they call it. But liberalism can also lean towards the right too. It talks about similar concept of libertarianism. See, they all libertarianism, liberal, they all the same, and then they have different variations, and sometimes they lean towards the right. You know what I'm saying? It happens. We talking about the philosophy aspect. We say left or right, no matter what it is. John Stuart Mill brought utilitarianism, and that's the whole concept. They push it. Conservatives are more neutralists. They lean towards right and left sometimes, but then we have neoliberalism, paleoliberalism. See, we got a lot of neoliberalism in the Republican Party. See, y'all niggas don't read. Y'all, I pull philosophies out of my handbook. I'm saying, bro, people don't like the shit that I be saying, but I'm speaking facts. What's going on? But these reaction channels, they don't do real research like I do. They don't go to realhistory.com and go into the people that did this and did that. I can spend all day, and a lot of people try to use basic history that I can destroy that with ease. And everybody thinks we're West African, which is crazy to me. But that's why you got idolatrous atheists that I don't listen to, especially in these spaces, because they're backwards. Y'all think the same. I'm not dissing the whole space. I'm dissing the whole sphere of the space of the ilks of the KSs and the idiots that reaction channels. They want to get content from. Like I said, that's not talent. And it never was talented. The only person that's talented from that was Soul Illuminati. It's just crazy, man. And then expect us to believe what they're saying is true. You know what I mean? So that's it. Shouts out to everybody. Shouts to Beef and Broad. Shouts to people that are watching in the clouds, whatever. And salute to y'all. Shalom to people of Israel, to the Gentiles. I'll see y'all next time. And yes, we talked about a lot today. Yes, we talked about the opening night basketball. That's all I wanted to talk about currently. And then you got these reactionary channels. They're just clowns, masking as pro-black, but they really see words on the low. They don't care about their own people. They care about is their immeasurable wealth, just like the so-called white man. So I'm signing off and I'm out. Until next time.